Linda, magnificent to have you here. As always, welcome.
Thanks, Alex. Great to be here, as always.
Excellent, excellent. And thank you to all our listeners and watchers out there. Great to have you here. Guys, keep the comments coming, keep the shares coming. It's absolutely brilliant. We got a lot of likes and shares in Facebook and a lot of comments coming through, which is awesome. Same thing for YouTube as well as SoundCloud. So a big thank you from myself and Linda. You're helping us grow. You're helping us get out there. So just keep it up. Obviously, we love that because we're out here trying to make a big difference to our community pharmacies out there in the US, and Canada, and Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, where the predominant number of our listeners are. But I have definitely left some countries out there because we know that you're also listening in South Africa and Israel and a few other places as well. So what we're talking about today is Facebook. And I can hear a lot of people going, oh my God, is that what we're going to talk about? We are. Linda, you overheard a conversation that two pharmacists were having at a conference that you were speaking at a little while ago. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Well, Alex, this is always a fun topic and it's something that we're both really passionate about. There is a lot of controversy, depending how you like to pronounce it, on whether Facebook is in fact a good thing for pharmacies, a revenue generator, or whether it's a waste of time. And, I overheard these two pharmacists talking about it, and one of them was like, I'm doing my best. I'm getting, one of the staff to have a look at it and post things, but nothing's happening. It's not, I don't see the point of it.
She felt like it wasn't getting anywhere. Pretty
much. And, there was a real sense of hopelessness and also rejection. This is all newfangled. It's too hard. It's too complicated. I gave it to someone who's young and enthusiastic, but nothing's happening with it. So it's a waste of time, basically. And, she was talking to one of her colleagues and her colleague said, I couldn't disagree with you more. Like, I've actually made a practice. I understand how it works. I've also had to delegate it to one of my staff members because, I don't want to be dealing with it on a day-to-day basis. I want to be working on my business. And that's something that I can delegate. But, when you know what you're doing and it's, I'm still learning and I'm not there yet, but I'm finding that, there are different things that we're doing with Facebook and we're testing and measuring as we go. And people seem to like it. I think it's worthwhile and I think we are generating some revenue from it. And, when he said that, I'm thinking to myself, well, that's interesting. You think that it's generating some revenue. You're kind of partway there because I know for a fact, and you know for a fact too, Alex, that you can do really well using Facebook as part of your marketing strategy. But it's really, you've got to be able to test and measure. The beautiful thing with Facebook, of course, is you can. Having said that, it's not going to be a revenue generator for everybody.
Yeah, it's an interesting subject. So from your perspective, time waster or revenue generator?
Well, to be fair, for some people it is a time waster. And it boils down to a few things. If it's going to be a revenue generator, as well as testing and measuring, you need to know that your customers are actually on social media. So if your demographic, and, we're going to assume that everybody knows their typical demographic, as well as the customer they actually want to target. So you might have a demographic of, elderly, people who are on some kind of benefit or pension, haven't got a lot of disposable income. Those are not people you want to target. If they're your typical customer, my guess is they're probably not on social media, or if they are, it's very basic just to catch up with the grandchildren across the other side of the country. If you're finding, though, that there's a different group starting to come into your community, say young families, and we see this a lot. If you've got these elderly customers in their 80s. They're not, you know, the great thing is, of course, that we've got greater longevity, there's better medicine, technology, people are living longer. They don't always keep up with the latest trends, if we're talking about social media being one of them. So for those people, you know, you're not targeting those people, but you will target, you know, eventually the demographic will move perhaps to young families. Well, those people are obviously on social media. That's part of their world. So if you want to target...
Are there more people on Facebook today in most pharmacy community demographics or not?
Yes, a greater proportion of them, definitely. And particularly if you take into account the fact that there are groups that you want to target within your community that are not necessarily long-term or regular customers at the moment. So for those people, Facebook and Instagram, for that matter, are really important social media platforms that you can't afford to ignore. So
are they a generator of revenue though?
Well, they can be, and this is part of what makes them your ideal customer, is that they are on social media and they use that as a way. Social media is commonly used as a way to do research, to, you know, you have offers popping up, whether it's on a site that you've liked or, you know, a page that you've liked, or because Facebook actually target you with the ads. So, you know, absolutely it can be a revenue generator if you have a community, a local community, as opposed to a major community of transients in a way. So, for example, unless you're a hospital pharmacy, if your pharmacy is close to a hospital, then you might get a lot of customers coming from the hospital, but they're not necessarily local residents. So you can't really build a relationship, an ongoing relationship with them. And Facebook's great for that. Similarly, if you're in a tourist area, it's not easy to build long-term, ongoing customer relationships with your people on Facebook if they're tourists. They're just not going to keep coming back. So for obvious reasons. So, you know, in those situations, if you're stuck in that and you've really got no way of, you know, but really even in a tourist area, one would expect that there are some local residents. And, you know, I've got clients who are in exactly that situation and turn their business around by learning how to use Facebook to attract and retain local residents as their main customer base. So they're not so reliant on the tourists coming through. So that's something to think about as well. It can be a revenue generator, if your ideal customer is on social media and, you know, they're local residents. B, if you're prepared to post consistently and be responsive. That's really important. You know, it's great if you post something and you're doing that on a regular basis, but if you're not responding when people like a post or make a comment or ask a question, then you're going to lose your tribe. So
and
that's really important.
Yeah, and if you're not posting the right stuff, you're going to lose people. Yeah, you've got to be interesting. It's not just a question. I guess what you're saying is it's not just a question of, hey, guys, you need to be out there posting. You actually need to be engaging with your posting.
100%.
There has to be some sort of strategy and thinking behind that, right?
Absolutely. And that brings me to the next point, that either you need to know what you need to do to engage your people on Facebook, or you need someone who can manage it for you, who is either an employee or a trusted social media professional. Now, there are a lot of them out there, and they'll give you pretty graphs, as we've discussed many a time, Alex. They'll give you pretty graphs with numbers that don't actually mean anything, and you don't know if they're translating to sales. And so making a practice of understanding Facebook and learning it from someone who knows it, so you can actually know what you need to do, or you can oversee someone else doing it, is really important. And, you know, I guess what pharmacists bring to the table is an understanding of the pharmacy, what you can offer, what you offer customers, what your value proposition is, those sorts of things, which presumably you work out as you're going through your marketing process and creating a strategy.
So Facebook is good if you've got the right understanding of your area, your audience, as Facebook calls it, and the right strategies to reach them.
Yes.
But you also need to be very clear in terms of your strategy. What are you doing with your posts and that type of thing? When to boost a post, when not to boost a post, how much to spend, when to increase spend in relation to that. But there's also a huge difference between posting and advertising on Facebook, which a lot of people don't understand. You know, what's the difference in relation to I'm posting and I've got someone posting for me and I've got an actual ad campaign running in the background?
The ad campaign ultimately is the thing that's going to be the revenue generator. But in order to capitalise on that, you need to have been doing the right sort of posting to have engaged and won the trust of your audience. So you can understand how if you do Facebook half-heartedly, if you don't have a proper strategy, then it will be a time waster.
You mentioned before, you know, it has to be part and parcel of the entire marketing strategy. What are the components that someone needs to think about if they're about to venture into social media, so to speak, and if they already are, in terms of doing it successfully?
Good question. Really understanding that your Facebook strategy or your social media strategy is part of your overall marketing strategy. So it can't be the only thing that you do, but also being clear about what your marketing budget is and apportioning it appropriately. You shouldn't just leap into doing radio advertising, for example. It's a lot more expensive. Now, if that radio advertising is local radio and you know that your customer base listen to this radio station, sure, consider it. You know, a catalogue's useful. Jury's really out on that these days. How many people actually read their catalogues? Now, again, depending on your demographic, that can be a good part of your marketing strategy too. So you need to look at all the different media all together in terms of marketing, you know, whether it's visual, whether it's auditory, whether it's, you know, something you can touch and feel, whether it's an offer that you make face to face, whether, you know, it's something that comes through Facebook. I guess the key is for any of these marketing strategies to be a revenue generator, you have to be able to measure their success.
So what you're saying is if you do Facebook correctly as part and parcel of an actual plan, you can create a value proposition for your community and its customers and grow your customer base.
100%. The other great thing about having Facebook as part of your marketing strategy is you can actually set an advertising budget and then test and measure and see what's going to get you the biggest bang for your buck. So it's not how long is a piece of string, which is how some other marketing media work. You can control and target who you want to attract, which makes Facebook a much more appealing prospect and gives you a better success rate. You know, it's a great platform for providing exclusive offers to your customers. And again, that gives you a way to measure. If you're offering it exclusively on Facebook, then you can measure whether people are engaging and, more importantly, are they buying? You know, do they see that you're adding value to them? It gives, you know, I guess at worst, Facebook gives you a way of connecting with your customers, getting them to know, like, and trust you. And to do that, and not just you, but everyone in your pharmacy, and to do that on a more personal level. You know, people, particularly with pharmacies, customers want to be people dealing with people. You know, that's the trust factor. It really is. So connecting with your community as real people will differentiate you from other pharmacies, and certainly from supermarkets, discounters. You know, they're faceless, but you're real people. And that's being part of a community. So it's also a great forum for getting to know customers and what their needs are, because you can actually engage with them, ask them questions, learn more from their answers. And then lo and behold, you guys, the pharmacists, become seen as the experts that really want to help out. And, you know, when you do that, you create a tribe. And it's a tribe of loyal customers. And the beautiful thing about those guys is they're less price sensitive. Sure, they can go down the road to the local discounter, but they don't get the care and advice. And they like going in because they know you get them and you've always got the right solution for them, whereas they can't get that advice if they just go to a supermarket or whatever it happens to be. And, you know, funnily enough, a lot of our clients tell us that as this gets moving and they start building their tribe, that they get a lot of referrals because, you know, customers refer people that are like them to the pharmacy. And all of that just builds authority, credibility. You know, the more you post, the more engagement there is, the more Facebook shows your posts, God bless Facebook, and your community grows. And it grows online as well, of course, because, you know, Facebook will create referrals because they see posts that, you know, people's friends have reacted to, and they see that in their own newsfeed.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Brilliant. And I couldn't agree with you more. You know, the question is Facebook right for people? Well, it isn't if you're not going to do it properly. Put your money in your pocket, save your time, don't waste it.
100%.
If you are going to use it properly, have a plan. Either you teach yourself or someone in your group to do it, or you can outsource it. You've got to consider the difference between posts and ads and how you're going to run those particular strategies and how you're going to measure your time and the results and what you're saying in terms of return on investment for that. And I guess the other things that you're saying is you can not only get it to get or utilize Facebook successfully to bring more people to the pharmacy, but you're also saying by engaging posts and making it more personable, people will actually want to come and see you more and more. And so they won't be thinking about, can I save 20 cents here or $1 there? If I'm going to get the right advice and be told, for example, if this particular product is right for me, as opposed to just thinking it's right for me and getting a discount, but I'm actually getting no value from it, I can go and talk to a trusted advisor, somebody who actually knows me and who I'm involved with in their page online or them as an individual through Facebook. I can connect with them. So that's giving people a much better care and attention. So when you're thinking about how to get started in Facebook, Facebook have a lot of great tutorials because they're actually quite invested in their platform. And the one other thing that we love about Facebook, right, Linda, is at the moment, it's a lot cheaper than Google AdWords and search engine optimization, those using AdWords and Google My Business and SEO, which can be quite expensive. Those are great, and those are definitely topics that you and I will cover in the future, but we believe that they definitely work. So let's just definitely put that out there. But we love Facebook for the reason that Facebook, although becoming more and more expensive every year, the value is still there, but it's a lot cheaper than a lot of other mechanisms in terms of ad spend, right? So what do you think in terms of when someone wants to venture out? Facebook is a great place to learn in terms of its platform. Yep. Make sure you understand it, right, before you go into it, especially if you outsource it to people, because as you said before, if you can get pie charts and bar graphs and a lot of beautiful numbers, if you don't understand it and if you're not driving that as part of your strategy, then don't do it, because you always say if you can't measure it, then don't bother doing it because you don't want to leave it to chance.
Yes.
By the same token, you've always said Start with $500. Consider it as money that you're going to use as a gamble. Start small, see how it works, because if you can put $1 into a machine and get $1.50, $1.80, $1.10, even $2 back from that particular machine, you're going to be putting a lot more money into that machine in the future. And
Absolutely.
That's what you've always said, and those are your beliefs in relation to Facebook.
I think Facebook's a great way to start a conversation and help you refine your offering. And I like that, you know, you can invest $1, you can see whether people are engaging with that offer and continually refine it. And, you know, the fact is, done well, it's going to bring customers into your pharmacy for relevant reasons and paid services as well.
Yeah, because people will find out about it, because remember, with Facebook, you can actually target specifically to the areas where you would normally do your letter drops and your junk mail drops. And you can also target not only people from an actual demographic, a specific geographical demographic, but also people with different interests in healthcare or vitamins or anything else in terms of your professional services. You can run different ads and different posts in relation to this, and literally they will see them coming through. Now, of course, the one thing we know about Facebook is it says, we'll wet your beak a little bit. So if you post, for example, it'll only show a certain percentage, and the algorithm changes quite often. So if anybody tells you they know the algorithm, you and I both know that they're telling fibs. But sometimes it'll show a small percentage of the people, because that's a post is going to somewhere where people have really liked what you have to say and they belong to it. But not everybody who's liked that particular page, or you for that matter, will actually see what you're posting. And so often in Facebook, we see a lot of our friends saying, well, I'm sick of, talking to you and asking you questions and no one responds and nobody loves me. So I'm actually going to take myself off Facebook. Or people say, I'm going to unfriend all the people who don't regularly interact with me.
Oh,
And you've seen that before.
Ouch.
And it's not just the fact that, those people are having a moment, but it's not actually your friends not interacting with you. It's the algorithm, which is not actually showing them a lot of your posts. So that's why people go and boost a post, because a boosted post will get shown to more and more of the people who are already in that particular group. And that's when it's time. So how do you know that you should boost a post, right? If you're making regular posts, and you and I both know that, everyone hates, advertising on Facebook and the time taken to do posts and that kind of thing. But we know that it's about 2 hours a week at the end of the day. If you can nominate 2 hours a week, you can literally be posting daily, up to 5 times a day if you do that. Now, you can do it 2 hours a week, or you can spend a day a month scheduling your posts. And there's some great platforms out there that you can do it. So people who say, I don't have the time, well, you're lying, because you're just not prioritizing it. But if you want to engage your existing customer base better, this is a golden opportunity. If you want to attract more customers to your pharmacy, this is a cheap way to get the right type of people. And listen, hey, I'm going to say this, because Linda's said this, and if anyone hasn't listened to this, you got to understand that there are always going to be people out there looking for the cheapest thing. They will drive an extra 45 minutes away from the nearest pharmacy to save $2 on a vitamin. And they won't factor in that that's what's cost them more in petrol and their time and vehicle maintenance and stuff like that they're going to have to recoup, because they think that they're saving a bit of money. And so there will always be people who are looking out for the discounts. I say forget about them. Focus on people, like Linda said, who actually appreciate value and good advice, and the fact that you hold good products and you have great services, because there are people out there in abundance who will come to your pharmacies in droves because you're doing the right thing. So invest in a marketing strategy, which is what Linda was talking about before, that considers a certain segment of ad spend to go towards Facebook. But if you're going to do it, the message is do it right. Be in the groups, post stuff that actually is interactive. So if you're going to do like a big discount thing, go ahead and do it. And if you need to clear some stock, great way to go out there to your group and say, hey, we've got a massive special on such and such product, and the next 48 hours, 24 hours, we're going to be taking 20% or 50% of this particular product if you're looking to obviously move something off the shelves and create space. So you can do that yourself because you've got a captive audience in the posts and the groups of the people that you have and already like you. But you have the opportunity also, remember, as Linda said, to engage people and come out with information all the time about some of the new professional services that you're running or some of the old professional services that you're running that are very successful. Keep reminding people what you do. That's the power of advertising. The most successful companies in the past 200 years or so are the companies that have been in our faces, front facing, in our heads all the time. Today, Facebook gives us the opportunity to be in our faces all the time. You're out there. If you're on Facebook and you're catching up on information, you'll see posts, you'll see ads from the people that you're interested in. And pharmacy is a major component of community these days. And you should be, as Linda said, one of the most trusted advisors in that community, giving people great tips, great education, great advice on a regular basis that will draw people into the pharmacy. And I absolutely love that because it gives you the opportunity to increase your customer base and your loyalty base.
Absolutely.
By being trusted, right, Linda?
Yeah. And really, the beauty of what we're doing is engaging with people that are there. And imagine, like, you can easily bring in an additional, let's talk about it in terms of sales, not even additional customers, but you could end up with an additional 200 sales a week or 200, depending on the size of your pharmacy, maybe 200 a month. But you increase the customers that come in. You end up with new customers who buy from you. When you calculate what that means in terms of additional scripts, retail sales in particular, it becomes clear that it really is worth taking Facebook seriously. And we've seen, I know we've discussed this, Alex, that we've seen revenues increase by 10 to 15% just from this one strategy. And it
Absolutely.
is, as you said, it's very economical if you know what you're doing. It can be a minefield, so you do need to implement the correct proven strategies. And as we've already agreed, like, they do keep changing, which is a bit annoying, but it's being on top of it. And, the resources are there to learn about it. There are, people who can, once you understand it, can be of value helping you with that, to make sure that you're making good use of your money, your time, your effort, your energy.
Absolutely. And you always talk about developing the team and empowering the team and getting the leaders in the pharmacy to come to you with the reporting structures to tell you how things are performing, right? Mm-hmm. And as the business owner, you should drive the business. This is the exact same thing that you're talking about over here. Is it not waiting for others to come back and tell you how it all worked out and what they think they should do for the next month in terms of strategy? You should be driving people who are looking after this for you to do the right thing and to follow the principles of the marketing strategy that you've put into place so that can assist, not let's see what happened with Facebook this month type effort.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
Awesome. Okay, so that's how to best capitalize on the opportunity that Facebook presents for pharmacies. So in case you haven't been listening, Linda and I are big fans of it, as long as you do it right and you spend the right amount of time looking at the reports to see that it is working and how it's working before you start to increase your spend on ad spend and that kind of thing. Because Linda and I know how hard you work for your money as business owners who run our own companies. We don't spend money frivolously. So we want to make sure that you're going to get, as Linda says, a return on investment with this particular strategy in order for it to work. Just be smart about how you do that. And as always, Linda leaves us with a great link that we can download and get some great information for just being a part and parcel of this particular podcast, which is the 7 strategies proven to increase revenue. We made this available at the last podcast and it went gangbusters. So we've decided again to do that for those who haven't had an opportunity to use it. It's the 7 strategies proven to increase revenue, and it ensures that you aren't actually repeating costly mistakes that, and when we mean costly, stuff that's actually shooting you right in the foot in terms of revenue and profitability, and being able to show you how to see the biggest reasons that people don't buy, the 7 biggest reasons why people do not buy from your particular pharmacy, and how you can fix them and fix them fast. Identifying a highly profitable business and sales strategy to increase profits by 30%. That's awesome. Developing a motivated, productive team who will always sell with grace and integrity. Linda is always big on that. Making sure that you're giving people what they need, but by the ability of asking the right questions, you're actually making sure that they don't walk out with missed opportunity, which is important, because we don't want to just be there for people when they're sick. We want to be a part and parcel of their lives on a regular basis, and for their families on a regular basis, and making sure that your community pharmacy is a shining beacon in the community. Linda is passionate about that. And so that's the only way you're going to ever get there, is to actually sell with grace and integrity, creating extraordinary pharmacy with maximized systems and customer experiences that you're actually going to give your customers, showing you how to build a loyal base of customers, and quickly and easily identifying launching a compelling product or service for your particular community, so that you can get stuck into this stuff and get stuck into it fast. So next time, what we want to hear from you in the comments and the shares is that you've actually trialed Facebook, or if you're currently doing it, you woke up to what Linda was saying today, and you might have been doing it the wrong way, maybe perhaps, and now you're actually going to be doing it the right way. Come in and tell us how that's changed. Tell us about your opportunity, your actual experiences in the past, and whether you are one of those pharmacists that perhaps fell into the group that it wasn't working. And if you are using Facebook successfully and it's working well for your pharmacy, hey guys, share that with your fellow pharmacists out there, because I'm sure that they'd love to have that type of confirmation. Right, Linda?
Absolutely. Actually, you know what? I've said that too often. I agree. You're spot on, Alex.
Cool stuff. Thanks, Linda. So guys and girls, thanks so much as always for listening. Make sure that you share. That's your way of saying thanks and giving us some nice karma back. If you liked what we had to say today, please share it. If you haven't liked us on Facebook, like us on Facebook and comment on Facebook, and make sure you subscribe and press that little bell on YouTube so that you're always notified about the information that we're giving, or if the topics and discussions that Linda and I have tweak your interest and pique your interest. Make sure you stay connected and keep those comments coming, because we'll always make sure that we respond to you and keep you guys engaged. Linda, as always, an absolute pleasure. We are talking about the 3 golden rules to maximize your pharmacy's Facebook success next time.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, the 3 golden rules to maximize your pharmacy's Facebook success. So if you didn't know that was coming, that's what we're talking about next time. See everybody at the next podcast.
Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, Linda.
Thanks, Alex.